It was a weird day in Bizarro World, as Kirk Breeze outplayed Drew Cousins in just about every facet of the game, be it total yards, yards per completion, or touchdowns. And it wasn't just a tale of two quarterbacks. Washington's defense routinely stopped and stalled the Saints' number one ranked offense, and the Redskins' O-line dominated New Orleans' defensive front from kickoff to the closing whistle. We all said this game would be high scoring, but nobody predicted a 47-14 record-setting blowout. What on earth went right? We'll explain it to you so you don't have to wonder. Next on the Hog Style.
It's the Hog Style.
All right. What up, people? My name's Sean Conti. The crew's all here celebrating another amazing win. We've got Robbie Duncan.
Hey.
Steve Thomas.
It's a pleasure to be here on a Victory Sunday.
And Mr. Alex Zeese.
Victory is mine.
Victory is yours. Victory is all of ours. And this one, it seemed like just about everything went right. I mean, wow, what a day it was. I think naturally we should start on the offense that put up 47 points today. Mm-hmm. So my question I was going to start out with was this. Robbie, it seemed like the offensive line absolutely had their way with the Saints defensive line the entire game. What happened today?
Yes, I think they finally just got their heads out of their asses and blocked better. I think it's pretty much what it was. It was just complete execution this time around.
Well, here was my take on it. You know, the running game worked from the opening bell, right?
Yep.
Opening drive, Alfred Morris was getting, the offensive line was getting a push right from the beginning. Alfred Morris got yards, and then Deshaun Jackson had the one play where he just ran by the corner, right. And magically that opened everything up. You know, and what followed? Did you notice what followed? What followed was play action. Mm-hmm. You know. We went, they showed a run look, sent the quarterback, on a play action. All of a sudden that start working, and the offense got rolling because, the Saints were totally off balance from the word go. Mm-hmm. The offensive line dominated, opened up the run game, which allowed the play action to work. And then this, can we just, oh my God, the Saints can't tackle.
Yeah,
that
they're
was
like
the.
us.
Yeah, well, they were worse. That might have been the worst tackling performance I've seen in a long time from an NFL team.
Yeah,
just horrid.
I don't know. We've given them a run for their money.
Yeah. Oh, certainly. Yeah, absolutely.
True.
But they were awful.
We haven't been great historically in tackling up to this point. What this to me looked like, though, was a highlight reel. If you were to take a bunch of high school kids and say, "This is how you block downfield," this game was that highlight reel. Everybody was getting involved. Guys were getting 40, 50 yards downfield and throwing blocks to open up, that big run for Morris and stuff like that.
Right.
It was just amazing.
You're watching Scherf run practically to the end zone as the lead blocker on that play.
I cannot wait to see that Matt Jones screen pass on film when it comes out.
Oh, yeah. That was a beauty.
I mean, everybody picked up somebody. It was just all Matt Jones had to do was just run. No one even was close to him.
I watched it on NFL.com about 5 times, and I think I counted 6 guys downfield at one point all ready to put a block out, and they all did.
Yeah, it's this guy's, it wasn't just all on the Saints' bad defense.
No.
The Redskins dominated this game with or without the Saints' bad defense. Mm-hmm. It was a point of attack thing. It always starts at the offensive line. The offensive line gets rolling, the running game gets moving. For the Redskins, good things happen. And then we see what we have. Deshaun Jackson was clearly healthy today. I mean, they were stretching his hamstring out there on the sideline. So hopefully it's not tightening up on him. But when you have the combination of running game and then somebody like Jackson who's doing his thing, our offense looks like a different team.
Yeah, but I mean, it brings up a chicken or the egg question for me, because what was it that made the running game so successful off the jump today?
The offensive line dominated the defensive line.
But
there
how
were
were they
holes
able
there.
to do it? So because today it seemed like you were watching like it.
Well, the Saints suck on defense,
right? So that's more my question. Is this changes the team is making towards the end of the season, or was this really we did what we should always be doing, which is we capitalized on a terrible team?
It was a perfect storm of everything. Go ahead, Robbie.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what it was. We did what we were supposed to do against a bad team. But, again, it's all about execution. Execution last week would have helped us very much so against the Patriots.
Yeah.
It could have made a big difference. With catching the football, blocking better. It's all little stuff that ends up being big for the team. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was just all running smoothly. It was a well-oiled machine. Everything was clicking. Everything was going. it's what we thought we would have in the running game, and it's good to see finally. The real measuring stick, though, would be next week against
Carolina.
the Panthers.
Yeah.
If we can do that against the Panthers, then
Carolina's
brings back.
defense is a whole nother animal. I mean, to me, this was a perfect storm of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As to why this happened. The Redskins' offense just generally clicked. The running game just clicked. The offensive line dominated. Deshaun Jackson was back. Good Kirk showed up.
He sure did.
And the Saints we caught the Saints out. I told you guys, outdoors on the road, the Saints are a different story.
Yeah.
And they were today.
Well, I don't think you had
I'll
to
say
convince
this.
many of us, Steve. I think, we
I'm
all
not talking
kinda-
about you guys. I meant you out there in listener land.
I know you
right.
three probably won't agree with me, but Good Kirk's been playing past 3 weeks.
Not yet.
And-
Not last week. Last
Yeah,
week
he-
went good Kirk. I'll
was
disagree
good
with you
Kirk.
on that one. He was okay Kirk last week.
He was Good Kirk, and he's put together 3 straight solid games, and that's what we've wanted from him is consistency, and that's what I'm seeing from him right now. Consistently playing well and giving his team a chance to win and make plays. I mean, he did that last week, but his receivers didn't help him out very much.
I still think
that's what I've been looking to see was consistency, and he's showing that for me.
I still think it's ironic that the quarterback who runs the best play action on the team is on the bench, but I'll shut up. Sorry.
No, I mean, that's man, I've been beating that drum forever.
Yeah.
Steve, can you hit us with Kirk's stats by any chance?
Yeah, let me run through all the stats. Offensively, Kirk Cousins was 20 of 25 for 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Oof, but he had that
13
one close one.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
gotta
the one
talk
that
about
was an interception. It was an interception. It got called back because of the penalty.
A tipped interception,
Average.
though.
Yeah, it was a tipped. It wasn't a horrible pass. 13 yards per carry or per catch rather. Per attempt, sorry. Alfred Morris was 15 carries, 93 yards, 6.2 yards average. He had the long at 28. Matt Jones, 11 for 55. Chris Thompson, 2 for 54 yards. Darrell Young, welcome back to the Redskins. Darrell Young had 3 carries.
Mop up
Matt
carries.
Jones, mop up carries. Matt Jones was 3 catches for 131 yards receiving.
That's just nasty.
Yeah, the big screenplay you guys are talking about. Jameson Crowder, 4 receptions, 60 yards. Deshaun Jackson, 2 catches, 45 yards. Jordan Reed, big day touchdown-wise, 3 catches, 29 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Derek Carrier had a catch. Alfred Morris had 3 catches. The ball got really spread around.
Carrier had
well
a
today.
clutch catch.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Catch
So that's
and run.
often.
Like, he got some good yards after that catch, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the stats, and they paint a pretty clear picture. It's like Matt Jones alone had like over 200 yards of offense today, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But who was it that stood out to you guys the most? Because to me, I mean, obviously Jones and obviously Reeves.
Alfred Morris.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad you said it.
Brandon
Almo.
Sheriff.
It begins and ends on this team with the running game.
Yep.
The running game gets
You're
going,
right.
it opens everything else up. If it doesn't get rolling, we're just dead in the water. I think we've established that this year.
To
Yeah,
me,
I
I think
agree.
Brandon Sheriff had his best game as a Redskin today, too.
Yeah.
He was balling.
And what do you just see? Just good downfield blocking, or like anything?
Yeah, overall, like his pulling, when he pulled on the outside sweeps, he was blocking well downfield on the screens, held his own in the running game in the inside runs and on the pass pro. I thought he was very good today. I can't wait to watch the film and kind of highlight that stuff.
you could say the same for Trent Williams, too. Just amazing job all day.
Though he had a
He gave up a sack.
He did give up a
And a
sack.
That wasn't on
too.
him. That wasn't
You know,
on him.
because it looked like he just didn't take the right guy.
No,
Robbie, tell us
that
about
was-
that play then. 'Cause I
That
blamed
was-
it in my head on Williams.
You talking about the one when the DN got the sack on Kirk?
Yes.
When he tried to roll out?
Yes.
That was on Kirk not taking the ball, being taken too long in the pocket. Plus, Spencer Long got beat by Cameron Jordan inside. So Kirk couldn't step up. He had to run away. And, Trent doing his job, making him go upfield, Kirk just kind of ran into it. That
Okay.
wasn't really on Trent.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is a good thing to bring up because obviously the offense had a great day, 4 touchdowns. It was great. But the one thing that you do notice is you do still have some weird inconsistencies and issues along the offensive line. You have a couple sacks today. You had some definite sort of fumbled snaps to Kirk from
Right.
Revis, which
Yeah.
he had at least 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah,
There's
I can't
It's been
there's-
going on for weeks now.
and it probably will continue. I mean, right? Most likely.
Now, that new center, Brian De La Puente, or whatever his name is he'll probably start next week.
But
I
it looked
think
like
this was just
Laribus had a good run game, day and run
I
blocking.
mean,
though,
he
didn't
was blocking well today. He just wasn't snapping well. He's
Maybe
not
he's
a true
just
center.
Yeah,
No.
he's not a center.
He's a guard.
He's
who
been
should
kind
be
of forced
guard.
to play it because we don't have any other true centers than Lichtensteiger.
Because our friend Doc Walker said right after the game that he thought Larubis had a good game. I assume he was talking about from a blocking perspective.
Yes, I agree with that. From a blocking perspective, he was doing well, but snaps wise, it's just.
I counted 3.
just
There
he's
might
not
have been more. I counted at least 3 bad
Well,
snaps.
he had that one
Yeah.
towards
Yeah.
the end that Kirk almost fumbled.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
yeah,
the low snap.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
overall, though,
So-
what I really kind of pick up on, and the stats really pointed out to me even more, how much we were focusing on kind of the inside of the field, not going to the edges with, Jackson. We hit him with one big play, but it was a lot of hitting guys who are slot guys, a lot of
Yep.
plays to the running back, attacking
slants.
teams through the pile, really just dominating that way.
Well, I think we just knew that our offensive line was just better than their defensive line, and it starts there.
Sure.
If you run the A gap, we haven't had success hitting the A gaps very much this year, really at all, except for the one game. What was it, the Rams game? We did that. But today they did. I think they just found a team. They found a weakness and they knew they could exploit it. And I just can't emphasize it enough. Again, when the run gets rolling, this is when the offense can do well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
and that's what happened
But
today.
that's what we want. I would love us.
Oh,
to
I
be
agree
an A-gap
completely.
team.
Absolutely. Of course. We're not going to be able to do that against everybody. You
No,
can't do
no,
that
no.
against the Jets,
Right. I mean, it's
and
just
against Carolina for that matter. And you have Luke Kuechly back there. We'll do our preview later, but
Yeah.
that's going to be a whole other story against Carolina.
Yeah, I
that's
think so.
that's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of the Saints, I agree. It's just so sad to see finally us accomplish this, what we want to accomplish on the ground against this team, because you still have questions in the back of your head. Is this something that we can reasonably expect ourselves to do more towards the end of the season, or was this really an aberration? It was probably most likely an aberration from just an absolutely poor unit.
I mean, yeah, but this team did what it had to do.
Yeah,
You
you're right.
you can blame it on the bad defense all you want, but the bottom line is if the Redskins don't execute, they don't take advantage of the weakness, and today they did.
Yeah,
And-
no, you're right
you
about
know.
that.
Let's be honest. A good running game is more likely to show up again later in the year than not. If this is us
hope.
gaining some confidence in the run, hopefully they can use it against New York, against Dallas. We have,
Yeah.
4 games in the NFC East left. Those are opportunities to really dominate
Yeah.
with the run again.
Yeah.
And if you guys didn't notice, I mean, Dallas today, by the way, 6 points. They're beatable, even with Romo back in there. I think Dallas is beatable.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Seriously,
Yeah,
when is
for
Jason
sure.
Garrett getting fired? That's what I'm kind of curious about.
I hope they. Yeah, I hope
he doesn't get
keeps him
fired.
there. That guy's a puppet. He's like Jerry Jones has his hand straight up Jason Garrett's butt, and is manipulating him like that. That's what it is.
Making him clap. If you look at Jason Garrett, he's always clapping.
Seriously, Jason Garrett isn't calling plays.
This is why we need
You
a
know-
video cast. Robbie just made the best expression on his face when doing that.
That's the look on his face.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's a audio medium though.
yeah, I know.
But point is, we could win some games, in the second half, theoretically.
Yep.
We can end up with a close to 500 record if they play well.
Yeah. It's possible. Final shout out.
What I love seeing was just it didn't matter who was in at running back. Chris Thompson came in and got some big flashy plays on us on the Saints defense.
What did you say he ended up with there, Steve?
Say what, Chris Thompson? 2 carries, 54 yards.
54 yards
Long
and
38.
I'll take that
just
from him
2
any day.
carries, though.
And by the way, did I miss something here? But the stats show Spencer Long has 0 carries, 4 yards.
He
I
picked up
sounds
a
right.
fumble and ran it forward.
Was that what it was?
Yes.
I missed that
Yeah.
play or something.
I don't remember us.
I don't
fumbling,
either.
though.
That's why.
Yes.
I don't remember who it was. It was one of the main guys. It might have been Jones. He fumbled it, but Long picked it up and ran forward for 4 yards.
Okay, I missed that play, but
It was in
I think that's the
garbage
first
time,
time. I think that's the first time an offensive lineman has showed up in the run stats in years.
Hey, and even Darrell Young looked good at running back when he got the carries at the
Yeah, he
end.
did.
He looked
I told
like
you.
Mike Tolbert.
Told you, welcome
From
back,
the-
Darrell Young. He was in there a few more plays than normal. I mean, he got out of Jay's doghouse today for some reason because he blocked on a few of those
Yeah,
plays too.
yeah, he had a
What were
couple
the-
good blocks.
What were the play counts for the running backs?
I don't have them.
You don't have them?
Oh, I have the carry counts.
That's
I don't
what
have
I
the
mean.
play
Sorry,
count.
carry
Carry
count,
counts.
yeah.
Okay. Alfred Morris had 15 carries. Matt Jones 11. Chris Thompson 2. Darrell Young 3. Spencer Long had that one. I mean, my first quarter notes. I wrote in here, that Jay Gruden's already given up on Alfred Morris. I was just screaming it to myself. Morris had a great first drive. Why the heck did you put Jones in for the second drive?
Well, they said on
let Morris get going.
They said on the show. I'm sorry, not the show.
On the broadcast?
Thank you.
I couldn't hear the broadcast.
Show,
I watched
it's the show.
I watched it in silence, so I don't know what they said.
Morris had to go in the locker room because he had busted up his ribs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
There's the answer.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either, actually. Eugh. Good luck, Morris. You had such a great game today. I hope to see more of that.
Well,
before
he
the
was
season's
out
over.
there
Yeah, he went back
at the
out
end of the
after.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, final shout out along the offensive line too. I wanted to make to Morgan Moses because he had a good game today. He also played with some fire. He was getting in a fight at one point.
Right.
I
what
thought he
was that?
deserved.
Why would
Was that-
anyone pick a fight with a guy that
What
size?
was that?
I don't
He was
know. He's a big
he was
boy.
Like, he looked like a man possessed, headbutting his own teammate without a helmet on.
That's right.
Nuts.
Yeah, he played with spirit today, and I thought he deserved a.
How do you think Morgan Moses played today, Robbie, Mr. O-line?
I thought he looked good. I'll need to watch the film a little bit more. I was kind of worried about him getting matched up against Cameron Jordan some, but he held his own.
Yeah. By the way, the run pass, I missed the exact number at the end of the first quarter, but it was about even. It might have been +1 pass, but it was about even. Second quarter, it was 15 runs, 20 passes. Third quarter, it was 23 runs, 25 passes, and then by the end of the game, I just gave you the end of the game stats. It was 25 passes, 31 runs by the end of the game. So pretty even. I'm glad to see that Gruden didn't resort to all pass all the time when that clearly wasn't what was. Clearly wasn't
No,
necessary.
I think he.
Right.
I think if Gruden sees the run game's working early, he's not going to give up on it.
I think he's gritting his teeth.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, he doesn't. He gives up too early on it sometimes, for sure. But today it was working from the first drive. It worked, and so he stuck with it. If
We
it
gave
had
him no
stopped
reason
working,
to get away from it. Basically.
yeah, he's happy to get away from it when he can. When he thinks he can, he will. But today it worked.
Well, before we switch over to defense, which is where I feel like the meatiest stuff is going to be because we had such a good day on defense today. But before we get over to that, is there anything else that stood out to you offensively? I mean, anything from play calling to players who had a particularly good day? I mean, I feel like we covered most of the big things.
Well, to me, again, it was an extensive use of the play action.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Play
he
calling
did a
wise
good
was
job
okay.
of the play calling. Yeah, Gruden gets credit for running that play action. It fooled the Saints over and over and over again. We got some positive yards out of that we haven't in other games. So that was, to me, I guess, what stuck out.
I think my overall conclusion is, the offensive line did really well blocking. I think they're getting better. At least they showed signs of it, and hopefully they'll continue that next week. But I think the person that's really starting to get better is Kirk Cousins. Some may not want to admit it, but I think he is showing
I don't want to
that
admit
he's
it.
improving with each game. And if he can do that again against Carolina next week,
Well,
I don't know what
I
else
just-
you need to see.
I just disagree with you. I don't think he was all that good against the Patriots. We'll just have to agree to disagree on that. And
All right.
Today, he was good, but it was the worst defense in the NFL. Color me skeptical again. Still,
Yeah.
Perfect
I
passer
would
rating. I
say-
mean, you can still
he had a good
do
game.
well
He had
and
his
not have
career.
a
This
perfect
is his
passer
career
rating.
game. This is his career day. I would assume this is the best game of his career. I think.
Well,
without looking at his stats, it was certainly one of, if
One
not
of,
the
yeah.
best game of his career.
He
Yeah.
had that really good Jacksonville game.
I'm sorry. I just don't.
And
I don't
the
believe in
Eagles
Kirk.
game.
Still, he may be a decent quarterback. He's not going to be a franchise quarterback. Sorry, I still don't think that.
Yeah. I mean,
What
I,
else- what else you
I
need to
more or
see?
less
Call
agree
me a
with you,
hater.
though games like today make me feel a lot better
Oh,
about it.
absolutely. Yeah.
I don't think he.
and-
I don't know about franchise, but I think that this game probably locked Cousins up as our starter next year while we groom somebody. For
Well,
sure.
it's game 9. Well, let's
Yeah.
let's see what happens by the end of the year. Certainly, it helps.
Yeah.
I think that's a distinct possibility, especially if he turns in more performances like this. Other people that I felt like I just realized we hadn't talked about, I don't think anyone's brought him up. Jamison Crowder.
Yep.
He had a pretty good game today.
Great punt return at one
is-
point. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I want to
For
say about
us,
his
yeah.
returns? He is a boom or bust return guy. He is a high risk return guy because he can take it and he can do a lot of stuff with it. He could also lose 5 yards
Well,
on a
he-
return.
It's been more
he's a best
it's been more
returner, which
bust.
drives me nuts.
Yeah,
And-
it's been
Yeah.
more bust than boom this year for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of returning, definitely. I think he earned his spot as the slot receiver, but the return game is just so
Yeah.
shaky, and it's so hard to determine where the issues are coming from, whether it's him making bad decision or it's the lack of blockers or whatever.
In the return game, it's just his stats: 4 punt returns, 26 yards, average of 6.5. The one return you're talking about was a 10-yard long return. So the other 3, he was 3 for 16, which is about right at his average, because we're averaging a little bit over 5 yards per punt return. So we had the one good one, which is one of our better ones of the year. Sadly, sad to say, but true.
But still, it's 10 yards is 10 yards, and that makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It was a good return.
Not to
I'll take that every
take
time.
us too far off the road. I know we said we were going to talk about defense next. Maybe we can talk briefly about special teams before we do that, since I feel like there's not as much to talk about. One thing I wanted to point out, I feel like sometimes when we are blocking, like for punting, or I'm sorry, when we're going to try to block a punt, a lot of the time we kind of give up. We're trying to get past guys, and we just turn around and start running back to block for like our returner. So I just wanted to point that as another thing that I saw today. I feel like, and that speaks to me to like a coaching issue on special teams, which it's such an abysmal unit. It wouldn't surprise me if we have coaching issues there.
Well, but Sean, you got to remember this though. If you send guys to more than just the outside guys to really make a big effort at punt blocking, that does not allow our blocking to set up downfield.
Sure.
You're right.
So you got to. It's kind of a pick your poison kind of thing. If you blitz the punter, you're just giving up on the return.
And
of course,
giving up on the return is not something we can afford to do.
Now, I don't know.
You're absolutely right.
I don't know what they're being told to do on each punt. Obviously, none of us do.
Right.
But they very well could be told by Katwika, if you're getting blocked at all trying to, stop the punter, then just get back.
Then just give up. Yeah. That could be. I mean, it
Unless
just seems
you're
to me
getting
like
an open shot. Why even take it?
Which is totally fair. It just seems like other teams manage to do this to us. We're not giving them open shots, and they still manage to beat us and block punts. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. You've got to worry about protection too, so you can't, you can't send too many guys. But I don't know. It's just an observation. It could be giving up. It could be what they're being told
I
to do.
just don't think
know.
we're very good at it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is probably the most accurate.
the fact
thing to say
is,
about
it is one of the most complicated parts of the game. The punt. Because you have so many different assignments for each guy. On any given punt, everyone's attacking, then they're defending, then they're blocking. It really is almost like a ballet. So
blocking a punt is one of the least likely things to happen in a football game.
Yeah.
Also,
but it's one of the biggest game changers you can have as well.
Oh, for sure.
That's
yes.
right.
Yep.
That's right.
The operation
Imagine
is
what
so
happened to us.
fast from long snapper to punter to punt before anyone can even get back there to block it most of the time.
Yeah.
You almost have to have a missed block to get,
Exactly.
get a punt block.
Yeah. Or a really slow punter, which again I feel like Tressway has been a painfully slow punter for us this year.
It just hadn't been his year. He's been
No.
kind
It's
of.
it's almost like he's taking an extra step on punts or something. I don't know if that's
I'd like
the case.
I'd like
but
someone to actually go through the game tape and just
time 'em.
time the operation, just to see
I
how
s-
slow or fast it really is.
We should do that because I'm telling you, I feel like it's at least a second slower than the average guy. We
Well,
should do
Mr.
that,
All 22,
Yeah,
one of
We should
us
do
can
it.
accomplish that. Since you brought it up,
we can have a contest with our listeners.
Fun.
If you can guess the closest to Tressway's average punt time, we'll give
don't
you
have
a T-shirt,
which we don't have.
which we'll have to buy. So you should feel very special. Other
Hawk's
stuff
Die the
on
movie.
special te- right.
We got Hawk's Die
Other stuff
merchandise.
on special teams. Dustin Hopkins had a good day. He made all 3 of his field
Yep.
goal attempts, I believe. The long one was 40 or something, so nothing huge groundbreaking, but a decent game. On the
Has he
other
missed a field goal yet?
one. He's
think
missed
so.
one.
He did.
One?
He missed one?
You remember he had like a 54-yarder or something that he missed in one game.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, the guys, man, what a win that's turned out for us, huh?
Yeah.
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 Certainly, especially because if you look at Kai Forbath last week, I mean, he basically lost that Tennessee game for New Orleans by not scoring the game-tying field goal that would, or the game-winning field goal.
I
I
mean,
should say,
in the
so they
back of
would
my head
overtime
before
and
this
lost.
game, I was really worried it would become Kai's revenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Did you see what Kai said this week in the media
About
the
spray
field?
painting the field.
Yeah, he said the Redskins have been spray painting the field while he was there.
Yeah. Well, he's
Spray
been saying
painting the
that while
dirt
he
green.
was saying that while he was here, man.
Wow.
Oh, did he? I missed
Yeah.
that.
No,
He
he's
made
You know, like
excuses all the
FedEx
time.
Field for years. He hated kicking here.
Well,
I think
apparently
every-
it's one of the least favorite places for players to play
Yeah.
around the league. Apparently they all vote, and FedEx
For
Field
kickers. For kickers.
Is it just kickers? I thought it was all players don't like playing at FedEx
No,
Field.
They all hate the field.
Yeah.
Right.
Quality of the surface. Is that what you're talking about?
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we're famous for 3-foot deep holes or something in the middle of the field and stuff like that.
I mean, if you're a professional sports field, how can you fail at being a field? Why are you
Honest to
spray
God,
painting dirt green? Like,
Why don't we
what a
go
failure.
Why don't we go to turf, for goodness sakes?
because Dan
some of
Snyder's
these
a traditionalist, he won't change the name, and he won't change from grass to turf.
I tell you, I'm a traditionalist too, but there's modern turf that is pretty darn close to grass.
Turf is
Yeah.
awesome. I personally love
Have you
turf.
played on it?
Yeah, I mean,
The-
we
the-
practiced on it every day and played on it every Saturday at ODU, and it's
It's
awesome.
it's not like the old days at like the vet where it was just like carpet. There's some of this turf is real good stuff this year. We got to do it. Anyway.
It prevents
You know-
injuries, or at least most. I mean, because you fall on
right.
on that hard grass, it hurts. But if you fall on the turf, I mean, it hurts a little bit, but it's a lot more cushion to it than it does, the normal hard ground.
That's right. And, guys, there was a picture that came out like 3 years ago that some player tweeted while he was at a Redskins game of like exposed
That was-
steel mesh.
Wasn't that the Seattle game?
no,
I
it
think
was a
so.
Giants game
That-
or something.
The Giants.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought it
okay.
was Seattle, actually. But
Was it?
either way, I mean,
But
it looked
before you go-
atrocious.
To redirect us back here, though, but just before you go to defense, right off the top of my head, I think this might be our best performance of the last decade, maybe on offense.
Well,
I
in
mean,
terms
they
of
had that
complete
stat. It
Yeah.
was the best first half we've had since the Super Bowl
88.
in 1988.
I'm talking 4 quarters. 4 quarters.
Oh yeah, even 4 quarters. Yeah,
There might have been one of those games in 2012 where we were close, maybe, but I mean, this was one of the best
I thought
offensive games of
we
Redskins
haven't
football
blown
that
out
I
a
can
team
remember
like
a
this
long
in a long
time.
time.
Yeah, no.
I thought they said it was as good as best game since 1991.
Was it? Yeah, maybe so, because I don't remember a game like this, honestly.
Well,
the last one that
there were
feels
two
like
different
this-
records.
Yeah, the last one that feels like this is when Joe Gibbs went to San Francisco and we beat them like 52-17 or something like that.
Don't even recall
Silence. Yeah, me
No?
neither.
Um,
When are you talking about, Alex? How long ago?
That
Gibbs
was
2?
Gibbs' second run.
I have no recollection of that game for some
No?
reason. No.
Not that it
Do
didn't
some
happen.
digging. Yeah. Anyway,
All right, I'm going to look this up.
Well, to clarify the stats, I believe the record that Alex was referring to was in the first half. It was the most total yards in first half by any Redskins team since 1988. Then there was another record that was weirdly tied or beaten today. About, I don't know if it was point differential or what it was, but there was something else. So my point to you guys would be this: in terms of the last note on offense, in such a kind of down year for the offense, we thought we were going to have Thunder and Thunder. We didn't have it. We thought all kinds of things. It hasn't been a good year. We're still setting weird records. Like that comeback in Tampa Bay was the biggest comeback of Redskins history. We just had the biggest first half since I was born 27 years ago. This like weird records are getting set in this strange off year. It's just a strange
We're
thing.
a team that's building and getting there. It's not quite there yet, but there's promise and potential. And I think we've reached that on a couple of games, but not consistently.
by the way, we have a discrepancy here. ESPN lists Kirk's quarterback rating is 132.3, not 158. So I don't know who's right, but that's what ESPN
NFL.com
says.
had it. It's perfect.
Yeah. Don't know.
Shit, I'll take either one. You kidding me?
Yeah, either one is good.
I'll take
but-
112.
Yeah.
I'll take 110.
Well, remember we told everybody that the Saints defense makes everybody look like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And they certainly did that today. I only counted one bad pass from Kirk. On my bad pass stat I got one that was early in the first half. I thought I assigned to Kirk, but other than that,
It was pretty solid. I mean, he only had 5 incompletions or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was amazing.
Randomly, I did find the game I was talking about. It was October 23rd, 2005. The Redskins beat the 49ers 52-17, like I said.
Dear
Wow.
Lord.
That's probably the last time we've blown out a team like this.
Well, that ain't bad.
No.
If Jay's achieving Joe Gibbs even in his second run heights, that's pretty good.
Well,
I'll take it.
yeah.
Let's-
Don't go crazy on
Steve,
us.
let
here.
us have this.
Yeah, I want to quickly get away from that statement I just made. Let's move over to defense.
Don't mess with St. Joe.
Exactly. I certainly should never have compared Jay Gruden to St. Joe. Anyways,
Not yet.
back to defense. What a day it was today. Just like on offense, I felt like everybody was making plays. Everybody's playing together. People swarming the ball. Anything that stood out to you guys, and I'll say mine. I'm torn between saying
Perry Riley?
swaggy. Well, Riley had that great one-handed interception, the
That was
wrangling,
great.
which was incredible.
Yeah.
I
Well, while
don't
you're
know,
thinking, I'll give mine while you're thinking. Keep thinking.
Yeah,
I'll
go
give
ahead.
mine to the secondary.
Yeah.
You know, because Drew Brees puts a lot of pressure on a secondary, and they really didn't get. They had one or two big plays there. At the beginning of the game, but by and large, considering how good Drew Brees has been this year, I thought they did a really good job. Drew was only 19 of 28 for 201 yards, and for
Yeah.
Drew Brees, that's a bad game. And we didn't get a ton of pressure on him either. It was just the secondary did their job today.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
kudos to them. D Hall was back. Good to see him.
Yeah.
Back in the game.
Although
there.
you could tell he wasn't quite ready when Mark Ingram had that
Yeah.
long run. D Hall just couldn't catch him.
And normally he can run down somebody
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I mean, you have to give it a hats off to the whole defense. The fact is they shut them out in the second half, pretty much, or not even pretty much.
Not pretty
Yeah,
much.
they
They
did.
Yeah.
And so I just got to
Because weren't you just waiting for the other shoe to drop?
Yeah, I mean,
I was the entire third quarter. I was waiting on the other shoe to drop.
and I know
at
you
some
guys
point,
love
and they never did.
bashing the coaches, but Jay Gruden told
did
them
a
at
good job
halftime,
today.
don't play soft because this is Drew Brees on the other side of the ball, and they held up.
That's right. They were down less than 2 touchdowns when they came. But it was not a time to take your foot off the gas at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it
and,
wasn't.
and they didn't.
Now, I was going to say I was torn between talking about the secondary or the defensive front because I know it wasn't a sack crazy game, but you had some good pressures in there. You had
did.
a nice Drew Brees sandwich at one point when he got his helmet crushed off at one point, which was nice to see. So it was
Hey, and it
definitely
was-
more of the secondary, but you had some good pressure at
Let's
times.
talk about key
was good.
stops too by this defense.
Yeah.
That
Key
was
stops.
a big part of it.
That's right.
Third downs, fourth downs, they showed
Yeah.
up.
They got off the. It was good to see Trent Murphy beat somebody around the edge on his sack.
Yeah.
Did you see that play, Robbie? In an expert eye, what do you
It
think
was
happened
good.
on
He
that
just
play?
got his hands
on that
off
play?
him. It's just a little swipe
Yeah.
at the hand and just turned the edge. And it was good. I want to see more of that, to be honest.
I think that's the first time he's beat somebody around the edge all year
Yeah.
like that.
Wow.
That I can remember.
Kerrigan, too, had a decent game at the beginning
Yeah.
of the game. I lost track of him a little bit towards the end, but towards the beginning, he was setting the edge well, I thought.
Well, let me go over
getting
tackles
around the
real
edge, I should
fast. You want to hear tackles?
Oh, of course.
Perry Riley, Will Compton, 7 tackles, 4 solo tackles each. Rashad Breeland, 6 tackles. Deshaun Goldson, 5 tackles, 3 solo.
pick six.
And the pick 6. Will Blackman, 4 tackles, 1 solo tackle. Chris Baker had a sack and 4 tackles. Gashawn Jarrett, 3 tackles. Everett had 3 tackles. D'Angelo Hall, 3 tackles. Stephen Paya, 3 tackles and a sack. Ricky Jean, 2 tackles, 1 solo. Terrence Knighton, 1 tackle. I thought he got some good push up
Yeah.
the middle, even though he didn't show up on the stats line too much. But I thought he had a good game. So there you go. There's defense.
Here's my thing with Kerrigan. I think his worst part of his game is turning the corner, trying to get around. They like to call it running the hoop. You like put a big hula hoop on the ground and you try to like run circle around it. You got to turn the corner and run the hoop. He's not very good at that, I don't think. He's very slow at it. That's why he ends up running too far upfield because it just, I don't know, he just can't quite get there. That sack he almost had on Drew Brees before the big play. I mean, yes, the guy kind of got a little bit of a hold of him, but he could have easily have just, turned that corner just a little quicker. I don't know. It just seems like it's in slow motion for him trying to get around there.
He's not living up. He's not living up to his contract.
No.
I mean,
so far.
I feel like he was until this year. So what is it that you think is responsible for the decline?
Well, this
in
is the
his
first
play?
year of his contract, his big contract.
I know,
No,
but
well, you know what I mean, though.
he's
Yeah.
talking about he was developing well, and
Yeah.
he doesn't seem like
Well,
the
part
kind
of it,
guy who was
honestly,
playing for a
I mean,
contract.
Well, I know, but honestly, when Brian Arakpo was in there, he was the focus on stopping, in the pass and the sacks game. Excuse me, Brian Arakpo was the sacker. Kerrigan was kind of the secondary player, and now he's supposed to be the focus of the pass rushing game. I'm not sure he's really up to that.
Well, see, again, it's a
Maybe
no.
I'm wrong.
I think
No.
most of Kerrigan's sacks really came from going straight at the quarterback, like he'd beat his man and then just have a straight shot to him. He wouldn't. Most of his sacks hardly ever come from turning the corner around, like running the hoop like that. That's just
Going
not.
inside
So why is
versus
he trying to
outside
do it
kind of
this year
thing?
then?
I don't know. A lot of coaches preach contain on quarterbacks. They like to keep them inside the pocket, and they want their outside rushers to take that wide, hoop running rush. I don't know. I just don't think Kerrigan's very good at that. If that's really what it is, and trying to keep contained,
Well, he's not fast enough for that.
or
He's
mobile
not a speed
enough,
rusher.
really.
No.
Yeah. See, Arakpo would have been perfect
Yeah,
at that.
he did it. Arakpo did it all the time. He did more than Kerrigan did.
That was his only
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
That was his only move. I just think they really need another pass rusher. I don't think Preston Smith may be a better player than Murphy at the end of it all. I don't think either one of them are going to be an elite pass rusher. Maybe Junior Gillette is going to be
Yes.
the guy that that does this out there. You were about to say, Robbie?
we need him bad. He's going to add so much more to the pass rush. But about Preston Smith, he's going to be okay eventually. He's just not ready yet. He had one play that really kind of stuck out to me. He had a play where the running back was the one blocking him, and he hesitated. He slowed down. I'm not sure what he was looking for. If you got a running back looking to pass block you, just go through him and get to the quarterback. Don't wait for anything.
Right. Should be an
Yeah.
easy assignment.
Attack him.
What's your honest opinion about Trent Murphy? I was against drafting him. I thought he was a dumb player to draft. I'm rooting for him, but what is your honest, expert opinion on Murphy?
I don't think he's a 3-4 outside linebacker. I think he needs to put on more weight and switch to D end for a 3-4. But or if
He's got to put on 20 or 30 pounds for that, doesn't he? Though
maybe 10 more. I mean, he's actually he's
10?
like 265, 270 right now. You can be to about 280, 285.
I just don't think he's dynamic enough to play outside linebacker
I mean,
in a 3-4.
like I said before, a couple weeks ago, Chandler Jones for the Patriots, weighs less than Trent Murphy, and he plays 3-4 DN for the Patriots when they line up in that front. You can do it. I just don't think he's mobile enough. I mean, you've seen it before. He had that one chance. What game was it? It was against the Bucks. He had a wide open lane at Winston, and Winston just left him. Looked like he was stuck in mud. He couldn't keep up with him. I think he's either a 4-3 D end or a 3-4 D end. He can do one of those two. He's just not mobile enough to do what you need an outside linebacker in a 3-4.
Yeah.
Career backup.
Solid depth, run stopping guy. He won't get you sacks often. I mean, he'll get his occasional one like he did today, but.
Let's hope that Junior Gillette comes back with a vengeance. From what he torn Achilles. Now he
tore
did. Didn't he
Achilles.
blow his Achilles?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that takes away some agility from people.
And
so let's
speed,
hope he gets it back. Well, yeah, speed and agility. Yeah.
And what did we sign him to anyways? Was it just a 1 year or 2 year?
It was
or-
a 1 year
with
with
a
an sorry,
option.
go ahead.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll probably see him back next year.
We talked over each other, but just for it was 1 year with an option. Just
We're
for
all
the
on
record.
it.
And,
We're ready
and
for that.
Yeah, I assume Scott McGloin. He strikes me as a Scott McGloin type of guy, so I would assume he's going to be
They've
back.
been saying already,
Yeah.
I think earlier this week actually, that there's mutual interest to bring him back. Gillette wants to come back, and we want him back.
I think Gillette has said that he's really interested in proving himself because he was really grateful for the Redskins for giving him a shot, after it ended badly with the Saints, and so he really wants to come back and help the team. Is what I kind of saw and read.
And it would be a great value if he comes back for something close to what we were paying him this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
$1 million or less contract for a starting linebacker.
Right.
That's what you want. That's what good teams have to pay the better players.
Yep.
That's right.
You know what I saw in this game? To get back to the game, it's the Saints quit about the end of the fourth quarter. About the beginning of the fourth quarter, they really just quit on every phase of the ball. Did you
Yeah.
notice that? They stopped trying to win the game.
They kept
on
running the
offense.
ball at the end too.
Yeah, they really did. They just if they could have, if it could have been a mercy rule game, like in sixth grade Little League, it would have been called. It was really. I would be embarrassed if I was the Saints from their
There's
effort
rumors
today.
that-
Let me bring up one thing. The moment where I think that they officially gave up, when Drew Brees kind of waved off the punt unit on that fourth down play,
and then they didn't
get it. I think that was what broke their back.
Push right up inside. They got beat man on man right in the middle of the line. Yeah,
I think that's what
Yeah.
did it. And how does a head coach? I know Drew Brees is a great quarterback, but if I'm a head coach, I'm still not letting him get away with that.
I mean, what else are you going to do in that situation? You're down so far towards the end of the game. What are you going to do?
It was the right thing to do. They were on our side of the field.
It's all
it was
they
the
could
right
do.
thing to do. Yeah, it was the right thing to do. They were on the 40-yard line or thereabouts.
23 or something like that.
Was it?
Yeah, we were in field goal
They had to
range
go
when
for
they
it.
missed that fourth down.
Yeah,
Well,
I thought they had
field
to go
goal
for
wouldn't
it.
Do a damn thing for him. Anyway.
No.
I mean, I don't blame him for that. I see what you're saying about coach might being a little pissy, but
Well,
frankly, I'm surprised the coach wouldn't call that anyway.
Speaking of coaching, apparently Sean Payton is trumped over Drew Brees. Did you notice that? They were
Yes.
sending the punt team out on the field, and Drew Brees waved them off.
That's what he
Oh,
did.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention. I was looking at some tweets.
Well, it looks like there was
Even Robbie doesn't listen.
No,
to
I
the
was
show.
I was looking at some. There's a tweet that I saw that I want to bring up when we get to it later. But
Go ahead.
It looked like they were arguing on the sideline at one
yeah,
point.
it was
in
right
time.
after that.
I'm
play.
telling you guys,
Yeah,
Peyton-
because it looked like they were kind of having words.
he's not going to be back in New Orleans. I'm telling you, he's coming to
I
Washington.
think he is.
Well,
Fingers
they're
crossed.
saying now. Apparently, there's rumors that he could get fired during their bye week this week.
See, I'm telling you, we got to
That's
jump on that shit.
insanity, man. If they need to fire Rob Ryan
Yeah.
because
That dude's a
today's debacle was not just. I mean, that team was unprepared.
That was
on
The way
humiliating.
they're
defense.
going, they may as well just make Rob Bryan the head coach just for shits and giggles.
It'll be more of a shit
Yeah,
show.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would. It would. The only thing that team has going for him is the fact that Drew Brees runs that offense so well.
Yeah.
It didn't really show up today, but I mean, they do. And if it wasn't for Drew Brees, that team would be god awful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so much
Brandon
worse.
Cooks is their best weapon. And while he's a good weapon, it's not like
He's
that
not a
guy
number
is.
one.
The second. No,
No.
he's not Calvin Johnson or anything
Yeah.
out there.
They don't have a number one on that team. That's why Drew spreads the ball around. so
Yeah,
much.
we don't
do,
either.
But he's
by
so
the way.
old now. He's lost what he used to be. Marquise Colston. He used to be a baller.
Yeah.
Now he's just too old. He's
Yeah.
just invisible out there now.
Well, he was
Y'all think that-
a speed guy.
A speed deep.
Y'all
threat,
think we're
too.
going to
He's
draft a
tall.
wide receiver? Y'all think we're going to draft a wide receiver at the top of
It
the
wouldn't
draft next
surprise me.
year?
I think high. I don't know if the first pick, but
Yeah,
but
second round, it's
Yeah,
a high
I wouldn't
pick.
be surprised.
High pick,
Depends
I
on
would
where
say
we
so.
end up. Because I'll be honest, I've already started doing a couple mock drafts when I'm bored at work.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh man,
It's never too
there have
early.
been a lot where we're picking the top 10, and there's some, one or two of the good quarterbacks is still available. So if that happens, we might still go quarterback.
maybe we can have Mecklenburg
Nah.
from Penn State.
No,
thrown
it,
to-
like when I say one of the two, I mean Goff or Cook.
I'm kidding because I know Robbie hates
Yeah.
him.
Hey,
I love throwing
mean,
that out there at every
but he has-
opportunity.
Just trolling
He has
Robbie.
potential. I mean, he's a guy you
much.
got to develop, though.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have
But
potential. He sucks.
if we're talking draft real quick, they definitely need to pick some of these very talented defensive players, either a corner or a middle
Yeah.
linebacker, and then go from there.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of those guys.
Let's talk about Will Compton
Yes.
real fast. By the way, that
Yeah,
guy was a
he's a
man
starter.
beast out
He is
there
a
today. I
starter.
thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 He looked really good.
Is he better than Keenan?
I don't
No,
think he's better than Keenan.
no, not now.
I think
not yet.
I think he's got better at the speed stuff than Keenan. Like I think he's faster.
I think
I mean, he called a great game.
Keenan's
He's the
real
play
fast
caller.
though.
yeah.
He's pretty
Yeah,
quick.
he is.
He can chase
Well, it's
those
not.
dudes
But
down.
it's like Compton didn't just jump in and start. He was the defensive play
Yeah.
caller today. That's big. The strong side linebacker. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
man.
on Twitter this morning, I compared him to Paul Warlow from the Falcons. Same type of linebacker, really. Very smart. Doesn't do anything exceptionally well. Not a gifted athlete or anything, but obviously he's gifted being in the NFL, but not in the sense. Yeah,
By
he's not an
NFL
elite
standards.
athlete. He makes up for it by being a smart player, getting to the football, being relentless, and just overachieving in general, getting a lot of tackles. And I mean, it's not spectacular, but it's what you need as an inside linebacker, is a guy that gets to the football and makes tackles. You don't need that much more.
Perry Riley answered the bell today, though. I think he was really feeling the heat. He was, involved in many plays. I thought today.
he was
Yeah,
good
and
in that.
And that interception was incredible.
You know what's funny about that? He kind of got interfered with while going for that ball, and I think it actually put him in a better position to
Yeah.
catch the ball.
Into the
What was the
interception.
penalty
it
call
was
on
pass
that play?
interference on Ben Watson.
Yeah, I thought so. I couldn't hear it. It was, I thought, what an athletic
Yeah, that
play
was
that
incredible.
was.
But the pass interference actually made it easier. For him.
So okay, I'll
It
say
really did.
we've been giving Perry Riley shit for the last 8 games. This was a great game by him.
Yeah, and deservedly so.
Yeah,
it
He-
was.
He had not been playing well at all.
Oh yeah.
But 1-8, it's just not enough. I mean, this was nowhere near enough for me. You know, like he has been a liability in so many other games that I'm ready to move on from him. Good game or not.
Yeah.
Sure.
Other guys
until the
that
end of the year.
had good games secondary. Obviously, Golston, who had the Goldson, who had the nice pick six. That was a back-breaking play.
Culver.
I was wondering if on the long touchdown in the first quarter that they gave up, if that was Golson's bust though, because it was a post pattern by Cooks, and if they were in a cover three,
safety has to be there.
It really wasn't brilliant. Yeah, it was really the safety. So I think right off the top of my head, because it was a post pattern and a cover three, I'd blame Golson for that bust probably. Wouldn't you say, Robbie?
No, I was agreeing with you. The safety, if it's a post play, it's
okay.
getting you beat. The safety wasn't in his spot.
So yeah, I would say
Sorry, go ahead,
Culver
Alex.
had a great game. He bounced back in a big
did.
way from last week. So
He had that really nice pass breakup that looked really good.
Yeah.
Got his
The
head
secondary
around,
in
slapped the ball
general,
down.
you know, they get, the Saints were stuck with a lot of screen passes.
Yeah.
You know, and I realize that's kind of what they do to a certain extent, but Breeze tried to put some pressure on the secondary, and it didn't really work out. I thought the secondary, generally speaking, aside from that one play, you know, be it Breland or Golson who blew it on the post to Cooks, I think they had a really good game considering who they were.
Yeah, and
2 games.
They had
Drew
a
Brees.
record. Go ahead.
I was going to say Drew Brees and Tom Brady, and I think they showed up pretty well for both of them.
You know, Tom Brady, the Patriots look like they were in 75% mode last week.
That's true.
Honestly, you
Yeah.
know.
Which
They really didn't look like themselves, I thought, last week. But sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories.
whatever.
well, I think
I was just going to say I believe that the stat was the Saints had the least amount of plus 20-yard plays in a game today as they have all season, and we had the most number of plus 20-yard plays that we've had in a game all season. So it was a weird little switcheroo there. Just interesting to think. I mean, we had 23, I think they said, plays over 20 yards through the season so far. We had 8 today.
Switch swap.
I thought Dron Johnson did well
So-
coming in as the new starting strong safety too. I think there was a difference,
I wasn't really that aware of him.
and that's a good
actually.
thing in most
So, I don't
cases.
know.
If unless he's making an
that's
all-star play, you know,
Right.
safeties aren't supposed to be.
You don't want to know he's there.
You don't want your safety to be the star of the defense because that means
Or
something's
unless
going
he's getting
wrong
a
up
pick or
front.
something.
And that was the case for a while. Our tackle
Yeah.
leader was one
It
of
was
the
Golston.
safeties, I remember you saying.
It's Golston. He probably still is because Golston had 5 tackles today, so he's probably still our leading tackler.
So that is-
because I mean, Keenan Robinson was right there with him,
Fell
and
off.
Keenan didn't play today. So Golston is still our leading tackler.
Which, yeah, I mean, that speaks to sort of a defensive liability that you have to sort out.
Yeah.
At
Your
least he's
free
making the
safety
tackles.
should not be your leading tackler, folks. That's not good.
Yeah, but if he has to be, at least he's making them.
Yeah,
It's not a Ryan Clark thing out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Oh my God. Talk
Sorry,
about bringing
Ryan.
up bad memories. Jesus, you brought up the Patriots. You brought up Ryan Clark. Good Lord.
Ryan Clark's a double bad memory too.
Yeah. Just bad.
Yeah,
times.
and you know what? Ryan Clark has said some ugly things about the Redskins this year, by the way. I forget what network
on
he's on, but he
ESPN.
hasn't been exactly pleasant to us. ESPN, so screw
he's a
Ryan
talking
Clark.
head. He says
Boo Ryan Clark.
what comes to his head now. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
He says whatever he needs to say. He told somebody that the last year our secondary was the most talented secondary
Yeah,
he'd ever been around.
he's
Yeah.
full of
Which is
he's
just
full of shit.
insanity.
It's hilarious.
That's because he was in that secondary, is why he's saying that.
Right. Well, what do you guys think? Should we do game balls for this game? Maybe an offensive game ball and a
Sure.
defensive game ball?
Sounds
or?
good.
Go ahead.
Okay. I will lead us off then. Let's
Okay.
go offensive. Who boy to pick Matt Jones or to pick Jordan Reed or to pick Kirk Cousins? Damn. Can you really ignore Kirk Cousins' 4 touchdown performance? I can ignore it, and I will ignore it. I'm going to go with Matt Jones. Matt Jones gets the game ball to me today just for, 3 catches for 130 yards plus
Yeah.
what he did
Yes.
on the ground?
Yep.
Yes.
Nasty game. Love him. If we have to get rid of Morris, I'm glad we got a guy like this around. So I'm going to give it to him.
Well, I'm going to give it to Alfred Morris. Welcome home, Alfred Morris. Your first good game in, 4 weeks at least?
At least.
You know, he ran hard. He was decisive. He took advantage of the holes that were there. So welcome home, Alfred Morris.
In my tradition
Amen.
of not picking people who've already been picked, I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins.
Beautiful.
You know, that pains me to do it because you guys know I'm all in on the we need a new quarterback bandwagon.
We do.
But
yes,
right.
we do.
But Kirk
You guys
had a
are
great game
incorrigible.
this week, so
He did. I felt bad about not giving it to him after I
Yeah.
did. I'm not taking it back, but, Good job, Kirk. Golf clap.
Robbie? Game ball?
I was going to give it to Kirk, but Alex already said it, so I'm going to give it to the offensive line.
Well, what?
Shocker!
You're kidding me.
No, yeah, they
Robbie, that seems out of character.
Yeah.
Robbie Duncan is praising the offensive line.
I know, man.
I'm stunned.
They had a lot better game than they've been blocking before. I mean, all year long they've been doing well in pass pro, but they've really needed to improve in running game, and they finally did that this week. Even though it was against a bad defense, they did what they had to do, and they really opened up the offense because of that. So they definitely get the game ball for me, doing their job and doing it well.
Okay.
When you give out
Fair
game
enough.
balls to 4 different groups or 4 different people, that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
Right.
And none of us had to give it to the punter, and that's good.
Right, exactly.
Punter's defense,
we were-
technically.
Yeah, should we
Yes.
do
Yeah.
defensive game balls?
Yes, no, absolutely. Do defense.
Okay.
Sean, you started it, so.
I will
Let's
go
choose your
with
game ball.
Mr. Pick Six safety himself, Deshaun Golston. I mean, what a great backbreaking, momentum-changing play that was. He really stood out. A lot of people had good days on defense today, but I think he stuck out. Plus, the fact that he's the tackle leader on the team, he gets the game ball for me.
Okay, well, I can't give it to Goldson because until I see film to the contrary, I think I blame him on that one long touchdown. So I'm not giving it to Goldson.
fair.
I'm giving the game ball to. If I could give it to the entire secondary, I would. But since I can't, I'm giving it to Will Compton because that dude stood up today and had a great game individually. So I'm giving it to Will Compton.
Nice.
All right. I'm going to go with the big man, the man who has become the leader on this defensive line, Swaggy P. Chris Baker.
Yeah, we forgot to bring him up when we were talking about D-line.
He had a couple
Yeah.
stuffs there. I believe he was the one who stopped that 4th and 1 run.
I think it was
Yeah.
him.
He probably won't, but he should be in the Pro Bowl this year. He probably won't get voted for it.
He's probably not well enough, well enough.
and
now,
he's
playing
but
at a
yeah,
Pro Bowl
he's
level.
been playing well.
His stats
Yeah.
aren't glitzy and glamorous enough. That's the problem with the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no defensive tackles stats are going to be glitzy and glamorous enough. What it takes is, you got to have the TV announcers start to notice him
right.
and talk to him on the national games. That's what happens. And we don't play national
play
games.
well in them.
No.
And when, or play well. When we do, we just get destroyed in them.
Right.
So you're right. I mean, he may deserve it, but he's not going to
Yeah.
get it.
And it's crazy because he was not looked at as one of the strengths to this defensive line before the season started. He was
Man
probably
stepped up.
looked at as one of the lowest
Yep.
points of it.
Well,
but he's played
we
really
all
well.
expected him to be our 4th or 5th guy.
Yeah, next guy in
right.
after
Yeah.
Paya and Hatcher. Hatcher wasn't even on the field that
Yeah.
much, by the way. Did you notice that?
No.
No,
Yeah.
I saw him once. I
I
was
think
aware of
he's
him one
getting
time.
I'm
phased
wondering
out.
if his knee, his
Plus,
knee
I
is a
think
problem.
Ricky Jean-Francois has taken over play-wise. I think he's playing better than Hatcher, and he's
Yeah.
getting more burn for it.
Yeah. Well, I think we're getting to the point in the season where Hatcher and Robbie, we
yeah.
need to get to your game ball. But I mean, Hatcher, I think when you're as old as he is and you have as bulky a knee as he does, when you're getting into week 10, I guess game 9, week 10, that's when guys like that
Yep.
start to slow down.
Yep.
Yep. Game
So
ball.
Robbie, game ball.
I'm gonna give it to the
Defense.
secondary. They had a tough task in stopping Drew Brees and shutting down the receivers, and for the most part, they did that and only kept Drew Brees and their offense to 14 points. So it's pretty darn good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Nice. Well, as you can see,
And I'll give an honorable mention, by the way. Sorry, Sean. I'm going to give an honorable mention again just because I bashed him so much, around here. And no, I'm still not a fan, but I have to give honorable mention to Jay Gruden. Because I thought the offensive play calling, he followed the script. You saw the run game was working, you stuck with it, and then you could you progressed from straight up runs to the play action, and then you throw, downfield to D-Jax a couple times. That is the game plan for
Some
us. And
great
and as
crossing
much as I
route
can't
stuff.
stand him, and much as I can't stand him sometimes, he did well today, and I got to give him an honorable mention.
Yeah.
I'll give him an honorable purple nurple.
There you go.
Twist.
Hey,
Yeah.
Deshaun
Good.
needs to do that before every game, apparently.
yeah, good game, Jay. Good job for doing the bare minimum that you should be expected to do as a coach. You douchebag.
He's still a horrible coach. I mean, I hope he gets fired, but
well,
I mean,
I
Pitts.
actually
today
think
he
this
did
game
well.
might have
Are you
sealed it
not
up for people.
entertained?
All right, well, that was the Hogsty. Hopefully you learned a little something from our game recap, and next week's going to be a doozy because we have the Carolina Panthers. And did they win,
Yes, they did.
by the way? Did
Yes,
anybody
they
know?
did.
they were
They're
winning.
9-0.
So they are still undefeated.
9-0, baby.
Definitely in the running for the NFC East playoff picture. This is going to be a brutal.
What are we going to do about Cam Newton?
I don't know. I'm scared, though.
Bring it on.
Scared.
Field goal style stop. Try and just stop the run.
He may be bigger than anyone on our defensive line.
He's Hatcher's
He's not,
size.
but I
pretty
mean-
much.
He's certainly a
I
big
think he's
dude.
basically Hatcher's size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's going to be tough, so we will have plenty to talk about in the ramp-up to that game. But in the meantime, continue to check us out online at thehogside.com. We got lots of cool content going up there every day, almost. And we will see you there. Until next time, take care.
All right.
Bye now.
Goodbye.
Whoopie whoop whoop.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't even paying attention. I was looking at some tweets.